Now what I want to show you is I'll put authorize on the controller wise.
Controller
Now
method,
let's
right?
see and try to access any of the method. Now in this case, even the index also we are not supposed to access, right?
Okay.
Let's see.
Sure.
So earlier we were able to access index, but while creating, it was going to login screen. Now, if even when you are trying to index, see the index also, it should go to login screen.
Wonderful.
Okay, now when you click on employee, what is the default action? It will be index, right?
Right.
Now I click on employee, it tries to execute index.
Yeah, but I'm thinking we're not supposed to see the screen. That's what I'm trying to say. See the screen that says ID
Yeah,
0.
right. So here index has loaded. It is going to login screen. But why I think we have both of them on the same screen. One moment. Because
Correct.
login has to execute, right? So it is
Right. That's what I'm
redirecting to
thinking.
login,
It's supposed
but
to redirect you to log in
uh,
right
correct.
away.
Correct. The problem here is, I'll tell you what is happening. So on the index itself, we'll have login as well as index. Both the actions we took it here. That is the problem.
Okay.
Okay, so it is redirecting to login screen, but on the login screen itself, we have index.
Correct.
So that is the problem. So what we can do is we can always move to this index also some other some other UI completely, some other view.
Right. That's what I was thinking. So it
Yeah,
redirects you to that screen.
correct. So we should have
Mm.
separated these screens so that this kind of issue won't come.
Mhm.
Okay, so it is always best to have different screen, the login screen. Okay, so we are not supposed to mix with any of the things, but during that time, I was just trying to show you, so I created here. But best
Right.
practice perspective, always separate out the UIs. Don't combine two actions onto one, one view,
Correct.
right? Okay, so can always create login if you want. Okay, under that user, if you want, you can create one login view separately, then it will redirect it to login. That you can do that. Okay, so at this stage, we have covered connecting database, all that. If you have still having some time, so what we can do is we will connect to database along with the stored procedures and all we can do.
Yes. Okay. Let's
Yeah,
do that.
okay, that's good. Let's do this. Okay, so when it comes to DB, right? Okay, so how query execution will happen is query execution. So in the query, we can always write, select query, update query, or, delete query, or anything execution of any stored procedure, anything you can do. Okay, but when it comes to normal SQL script, like select all that, okay, you can directly, call that, like select query, everything. Okay, but if you want to be executed multiple statements at a time, okay, then you can go for stored procedure. Okay,
Okay.
so what it is stored procedure? So in the stored procedure, you can have, as I said, multiple statements that can be, select, update, delete, or insertion, or insertion. Okay, insert means you are inserting a new record. It will be new record. Okay, when it is for select, you are retrieving a record
Right.
from the DB. When we say update, you are basically updating the data which is already existed in the DB.
Mhm.
Basically editing details. Say here you have inserted one record, say employee details, right? An ID, name, date of birth, all that. Anything in that matter, right? Everything you have inserted here. Say for example, you need to update date of birth details. Okay. So
Mhm.
here using update query, you can edit the database, the date of birth equal to some new date of birth details. You can do that in edit. Say if
Right.
you want to delete the record completely, you can fire this delete query. Okay. So if you want in detail of this one, I can go in detail of how you can do this ones. Do you
Yes,
want?
that's what I want us to do. I thought we were going to do a stored procedure.
Okay, so normal SQL scripts, you don't need to know, right?
Well, no, let's start with SQL script. I know them with my SQL, but we can
Yeah,
review them with the SQL Server
sure, no
microservice.
problem. So
Mhm.
I'm just checking with you because if you know that already, I don't need to cover that. Only that is the reason. Okay,
Mhm.
so now you want me to cover. So I'm just opening SQL Server and let's do how those things works out.
Okay.
Okay, so basically you need to connect to your SQL Server with username and password.
Mhm.
Okay, so once you connect to the server, you can see multiple databases existed under that server. At the left hand side, this is your server name. And then under that, you have a databases folder. You can see a lot of databases here. Okay. So I think now we are using database name Alfred. Under when you expand that one, you have tables, views, all that. Okay. So under the tables, you can have multiple tables. I think currently we have user. Okay. If you want to see the data, what are all is there, you can always do select top 1000 rows. Okay, so now you can see what are all the data located or stored under that table. So currently we can see one record. Okay, and then
Mhm.
these are all your columns: ID column, name column, username column, password, department. Okay.
Right.
And when you are creating user table also, you need to specify what is this column names refers to. Say this is ID column, which is a primary key and
Mhm.
integer type, and then not allowing nulls. Okay. It means if say from whichever system the data is inserting, if say the system is trying to insert empty record and you don't have any validation in the UI part of it for the model, then it will throw an exception saying that, the particular column cannot be allowed nulls. So you can't enter null. But here I have mentioned this is a null type. So you can add null values for that. Okay,
Mhm.
so that is the thing of not null and null. And then you have ID column, which is a primary key int, and then n varchar, which is to store for the alphanumeric letters. Okay, so
Okay. So
username.
let's
Yeah.
keep, I know all of these ones. Let's go to our store procedure. I know how to do all of these ones.
Okay, so I'll just perform some select other. Select you have no already. Now let
Mm-hmm.
me do update, and then table name you will have to specify. Okay, say update user. You will have to set and then column name. So I'm
Right.
using name. Name equal to within single quote you can specify what is the new value. Say Fred, my friend. Something like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to apply this updation only to specific records, then you can specify where condition, where ID equal to 1. Okay. Okay, I have updated that. Now let's do select query. You see here, my name is updated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you want to delete any of the data, you can always put delete from user Now you can put where condition and then specify the condition. So whichever meet that condition, it will be deleting the records. So here you can specify any of the column names. Say department, right? Department is null. So department is null, this one. So this record will delete.
Okay.
Right? And then when it comes to insert, right? So insert query is insert into, you'll have to specify what is the table name. User. Here you can specify column names. Okay. So this identity is a identity column. Let's check that if it is a identity column or not. So you can always go to properties. Sorry, design you could have. I'm going for design. You see here ID and then scroll down here. Identity specification. Yes, it means if you don't put any of these ID value inserts in, automatically it will keep on increasing. Okay, now
Right,
that's
it's
why I'm not going
auto-generated.
to, I'm not going to put that column. Only the
Mhm.
name, username, password, and then department. So department also by default it is null. If you want to skip, you can skip. You need to specify values. Now username. So let's add the whatever deleted data. Alfred at gmail.com and then password. Say something like password 123. Okay, that's all you need to do. So for inserting of the data, how do you write insert query? This one. So one row affected means you are successfully inserted. Or else if you get any of the errors, say something like, this is the Alfred, which is, allows n varchar. Now I'm trying to enter, numeric value. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it is n varchar, so it would still take, or else, not null, we can try. So I'm just trying to insert here the name as null. Okay, now let's see what it does. You see here, cannot insert the value null into column username. Why? Because column doesn't allow nulls. Insert fails. So this is the kind of errors would come.
Right.
Okay. So you can always, correct those errors by verifying what is the column name, column type you have, whether it is allowing nulls or not, and then correct the data. Okay. Now earlier we have inserted one record or two records. Let's execute. You see here, the data has come through. See, now I don't want this record. So let's delete that record first. So you cannot put is null condition now. Why? Because if you put that condition department is null, both of these records will be deleted. Right?
Right.
So now what is the unique thing you have to find out? Either ID equal to 3 you can use or name equal to 1 you can use. Okay, now let's use ID equal to 3. It is always dependent on the primary key is a good thing always because that has to be unique. That will be unique.
Across, right. I
Right?
remember I was doing an update and I used a different column.
Yeah.
I used a column instead of the primary key, which is the ID. It was telling me that it wasn't, it says it's not too safe to do that pretty much.
Yeah, correct. It is not safe because that value may be, not unique. You may be deleting some other data also by mistake or updating the data.
Right.
So it is always, dependent on the ID column or primary key column is always good thing, best thing. Okay. Now see, that is the how insert, update, delete things will work. Okay.
Right.
Now let us see how do you work on the stored procedure. Okay.
Very good.
No props. One moment.
Also, and also I discovered that
What
with
is that?
I said I also discovered that with SQL
Yeah.
Server,
Yeah.
you cannot use double quote. If you use double quote, it's giving you an error. But with my SQL, it doesn't matter. You can use double or single quote. It works. You understand what I'm saying?
No, sorry. I'm not getting what you mean.
I'm saying it with SQL Server, the
Yeah.
one we're doing now. If you
Mm.
have a string value, you cannot use double quote. See how you have,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
Right.
so it
Yeah.
doesn't take double quote. But with my SQL, it
Yeah.
takes both single and double quote. It doesn't matter to him, to that
Oh,
one.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so it is always represent in a good way. So,
Mhm.
it is always best to create, if it is a NVAR, then let's put it into, single quote. If it is a integer type, then don't put single quotes. It will always
Correct,
be good.
correct. And also, um, with both, I'm trying to give you the similarity between the two. With both, you can end a query with either a semicolon, with or without a semicolon, it will work.
Yeah. 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 Right.
Correct. Okay, so that's good. Let's
Okay.
proceed.
So now let's do some things about stored procedure. Okay. So basically, let me cover a few more things. Okay. So those are all the normal SQL scripts. Okay. So when we talk about ASP, right, as I was telling you, all of these SQL statements you can put it into one stored procedure. Okay.
Correct.
Now, what is the advantage of stored procedure? Stored procedure is a pre-compiled SQL scripts.
Hmm.
Means it will not recompile again. Okay, but these ones, when you are executing single script, right, it will compile first, and then if there are any errors, it will show you, and then you will fix it. All those things will happen, right? But here, SP, whenever you are writing SP and when you are trying to create, right, the stored procedure, it will compile first, and then you will resolve all of those issues, and then finally you created SP, right? So this way, it is a pre-compiled one. So it won't recompile again. So the execution will be faster
Okay.
because it is a pre-compiled. It is already compiled one. So it will not recompile again. Getting right. So it will be faster. And also, when you are passing the parameters and all, say suppose I'm writing one select query blah 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 where id equal to, and then you specify one id, right? This id, say if it is coming from the UI, then from the UI by mistake they may enter hyphen hyphen, which is a comment lines within the SQL, right? And then they can enter either star or something like that, anything. So
Right.
user, so who, from the security perspective, if someone is trying to hack your system, they can easily do it. But when it comes to stored procedure, you are passing as a parameter to that stored procedure, say at id equal to some value and all, right? So
Mhm.
here it will always, the stored procedure always checks how the value is coming. Okay.
Yeah.
And then security wise also it will be helpful for us. Okay, now let's create one stored procedure. Okay, first we'll start with a small thing. You can take a new query. Okay, so how do you create is create procedure. Okay, and then procedure name. Select users or select all users. Okay, you can do that way, and then select all users. Now as, okay, you can do begin, then end. Okay, now
Mhm.
select all from uh, get all users. Instead of selecting, I'll just put get all users. Okay. all
Yes, sir.
from user. Okay, that's our table name. Okay, now when you write all, see, this is a very simple thing, but it will be a lot of having logic, any business logic, all those things. You can always write multiple SQL statements. Okay,
Sure.
now
Good.
let's create this using F5. Okay, once you do this F5, and if there are no errors here, then it will compile and it will create a stored procedure for you. Say something like if you have any issues, not writing SQL as correct thing, when you execute, there will be compilation errors. So you are resolving all of those issues as part of creating stored procedure itself. It will pre-compile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's execute. It is
So
already there.
the shortcut to execute is F5.
Yeah, F5. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. See, I'm trying to create again on the same stored procedure name. What it said, there is already an object named get all users in the database. What you can do is in that case, if it is already existed, you need to do alter.
Okay, so you're altering the one that's existing.
Yeah. So
Create.
you can do that, either create or alter. So that if it is not there, it does create. If it is already there, it do alter.
Nice.
If you are already sure that it is already existed, then remove that create thing, just to do the alter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now where,
I like
yeah,
when it's create or alter. So you know.
okay. Yes, yeah. At least they should give that option, right? It's the easy option. Okay, now once you do this procedure, where it is going to be, I'll tell you. So tables, okay, views, all that. Now it is a programmatic because you are writing multiple scripts. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
under programmatically, you have a thing called stored procedures. Go inside and see get all users, which is our stored procedure is there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you right click on that stored procedure, you can always see multiple things. Okay. Either you can go for modify it, or if how you were created the SQL script of it, you can always see that one. So create to new query window. Let's see what it will give us. You see, this is our script of our created stored procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also when you click on modify, let's see what it does. You see here, alter means you are altering the existing stored procedure. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now you have created the stored procedure. How you will execute it? That's a secondary thing, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
let's see how you can execute. So how you can execute is in SQL Server, you have a keyword called exec, means you are trying to execute.
Execute. Mm-hmm.
Okay, either you can type all of your stored procedure name, or you can just drag and drop your stored procedure name. You can do that. Okay,
Oh.
now just do this execute. You see here, when you execute this one, so inside that whatever the query is there, select a query, it executes and gives you the result of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So that is the how the basic options for the stored procedure. Now say what I am doing here is that select all from user, get all
Mm-hmm.
users. Now you want to get only particular user based on the ID, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you will have to put where condition ID equal to blah blah blah, and then the
Mm-hmm.
ID is coming from the as a parameter to the stored procedure, right? Now let's create one more stored procedure which takes a parameter called ID and then put a where condition under select query saying that this is the user based on the ID you need to give me, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
let's create that. Create stored procedure, get user by
By
ID.
ID. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this ID we take as a parameter. Always in SQL Server, the parameters name you will have to specify starts with at.
Okay.
At ID, and then ID, what is the type?
It's an int.
Int. So you will have to specify what is the type of it. Okay, that is int. Okay, if there are multiple parameters, you can do with a comma separation, you can write one more parameter. So how many
Okay.
parameters you want to take, you can take it. Now let's
Okay.
use this ID in our query. Now you'll have to write where ID column equal to whichever passed on the parameter for us. Okay, so that is how you execute. Okay, now let's create this stored procedure also. Now let's see here, refresh. See, get user by ID has come. Okay, now we have created stored procedure. So we know how to execute this one. Now let's execute the other stored procedure by passing a ID. Execute, drag and drop this one. You will have to pass a parameter. How do you pass is at ID equal to, say, I'm just passing 2 as of now. Yeah, so let's execute it. You see here, everything has come. Now, instead of ID 2, which is not there 1, I'm giving, let's see what it comes. You see here, nothing. Because
So
with ID, there is nothing. Yeah.
Can you put multiple IDs, like where ID equals to 1, 2, 3, 4? Can you do that?
If you want, you can do that one, but the query which you have created is taking only one parameter,
Yes,
which
I want
is
us to
ID. So you
I want
can't
us
send,
to do
you
do
can't
a
send that
query
one.
that has multiple that
So
takes
then
more.
in that case, you will have to take table valued type.
Okay.
So that's a
Because
kind of advanced thing. If you're really interested on that one, we can cover in the coming session.
Well, the reason I'm telling you, with the project I was working before,
Yeah.
what we were doing is we would do a select star from DB, and then we say where ID in. So we say ID in, and then we give different IDs. Let's say ID 1, ID 3, ID 4, ID 7.
Yes.
All those IDs. So we put them in a bracket, and then when you execute, it will give you. You see what I mean?
Okay, so in that case, you can put, you can create one more stored procedure. Let me create one more. So get users.
IDs.
No, between IDs.
Okay.
Okay, so basically this one will take min ID, minimum ID is int, and then you can also take one more parameter called maximum ID, which is int. So basically when you are putting this one here, ID between.
There you go.
Right?
So it's not advanced. It's
Between you
something
can
that we
use.
do.
Yeah, so
Between
between you can use, and then you will have to specify what is minimum and what is maximum. It means what are all there between those IDs, the data will be returning. Okay.
So what
So
we put
at
there between
min
what?
ID,
Between,
yeah, and at
Now,
max.
now you're cooking. This
Sorry.
is what happened in real world.
So why it
Yeah.
is failing here? Because you will have to specify the parameters with comma separated.
Okay.
Okay, so now I put comma after the first parameter. Now all the errors have gone. Okay, now let's create this one also. Now the stored procedures are totally, it would be
Fresh.
3, it is totally 3. Now let's try that one. So in order to try that one, so first let's insert the data with a few more records. Okay.
Records. Okay.
Where is insert?
Right there.
Put.
Just copy and paste, and then change.
Yeah, it can put, see multiple things we wanted. So
Yeah.
I'm putting that way. Okay, so instead of name, say I'm taking my name now. Sorry. You're there, right?
I'm here.
Yeah. So username I'm taking.
Email.
Yeah, password can be same.
Yeah.
So now repeat this same thing. I'm going to use any name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, now let's do the thing. Sony. Um, anything. I'm just trying to remember and entering.
Yeah. You can, if you just look at anything around, you can say table or chair. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't have to think. I just take objects around me.
Whatever I get into my head, I
Yes.
just entered. Okay. Now
The-
I'm inserting all of these users.
right.
Yeah. So many users we have inserted now. Just
Mm-hmm.
to see the data, so we can run select query. We have, blah, 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 something. Okay. And then password is
Right.
same anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So let's run our different things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
this one will give you all the data. This one would give you, it is looking for the ID equal to 1, which is not there. Okay. Now let's put 4. 4 also is not there. Let's put 3. Oh my God, which one is there? See, 3 and 4 are
Oh,
not there.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so 6 is there. 6 it has returned. Now we'll have to put different parameters. So we have a different one between user IDs. Okay, what is the min ID? Min ID I want as a same file. Min ID equal to 5, comma, and
At max
max
ID.
ID equal to, let's see, or again the data.
Execute.
It's
9.
9 or 8, just to be differentiate, right? So
Okay.
8 I'm using. Now let's run these 3. So the first one everything, and second one is just with the user ID 6. Now
Mm-hmm.
between 5 and 8. 5 and 8 what are there? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 8, because still 8 only. So
Yeah,
5,
we
6,
ended at
7, 8.
8. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good job.
So
I like
this is,
it.
yeah, that's good. Okay, so this is the how you can create stored procedures along with the parameters and how you can call them and all. Okay. Now this is the logic of the how you execute a stored procedure and get the data. So
Mm-hmm.
from whichever system you are calling, either it is a .NET code or Java or anything, it has to be in this syntax.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the data. Then inside your either C# code or VB code or Java code, once you return the data in your the coding language, you can write the
Right.
logic to retrieve the data and then process it and then display it in the UI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can look for any of the other conditions, where, so sometimes you can also use in condition where ID enough, right? If you are spending any specific IDs, only those you can put in condition and write it. Now we are
Mm-hmm.
writing between conditions so that in between of this min and maximum, what are all there, you can get the data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So sometimes you need to have one more stored procedure also. Say based on the username and password, you want to return the data, right?
Right.
So in that case, you can put where condition where username equal to this one and password equal to this one. So let's create one more stored procedure called get user by username and password.
Yes, sir.
These are all with the string parameters. So what it will have, the parameters what you are going to send.
Username,
Yeah,
string,
username is what type? No,
the
there is no
varchar.
string here.
Var
Where can, yes. So the best practice is always go to your columns and verify what is the type and what is the length. Okay. Here we have declared it as n varchar and 150. So you can always put n
And
varchar of 150. The same thing, whatever you have.
there's a command on my SQL that says describe. You just do describe table name, and then it will
Okay.
display the screen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so you have something easy functionality to do that, is it?
No, no, I'm saying instead of going here to be looking it up where you look, just
Hmm.
like you were doing a select star dot, do a select star to display the table, the
Hmm.
content of the table. You could also do describe
I know,
DESC.
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you
go
can do
ahead.
that one. Yes.
Continue. So we have username nvarchar 150,
Yeah, and
password
then password also
nvarchar
nvarchar of
50.
50. Sorry, it is that is name
Oh,
is
that's good.
150. Username is only 50. Okay, so
Okay.
nvarchar of 50. So that's how username and password. Now you are selecting the user based on the username and password. Say when you are logging onto the system, right? What you always enter username and password. So with that username and password, you are trying to check whether the trying to log in whoever is the user having any record within the system, within the database with that username and password.
Right.
So you have to put where condition, sorry, username equal to at username and password equal to at password. Okay.
Very nice.
So that is the how you create a stored procedure. Now you can execute stored procedure here. Let's refresh this. You get the stored procedure name. Okay. Now you are passing username equal to something
User.
which
Mhm.
is anything Sony.
Yeah.
Okay, and then password
Mhm.
and
And
password, sorry, not and, comma, password equal to, say, I'm just using wrong password.
okay,
Okay, so let's run this one.
execute.
There is nothing. You see here in fraction of seconds, it comes the data.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna work more. I'm gonna work some more on this
You
stuff.
definitely like a lot. So practice more on this one. Yes. You see here, I just
Mhm.
passed password 123. I have one data with the Sony and then password 123. I got the return. Similar way, if you want, you can pass any of these things and then you get the data.
Mhm.
Remember this one. This is not a case sensitive.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, it is not. Okay. What is that? Alfred, what is there? Okay, alfred@gmail.com. That is
That
the
come
way.
on.
Okay, I'm not using any of the case letters like uppercase, all that. Let's
Mhm.
check. Okay, so A is capital here, but I used small. Let's see whether data comes or not. See here, data has still come. So it is not a case sensitive.
So one
Remember
last
that one
thing.
always. Yeah.
Can you use a wildcard like say ALF and then what's that thing again? ALF percentage. So it searches for anything that matches.
Yeah,
Can
yeah, you
you?
can always do that. Okay, so first let's see password. Say password, right?
Mhm.
Say our thing doesn't support. If you want, we can create one more stored procedure called.
You don't have enough time, don't worry.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
save the time for another session.
Get all users with like like keyword, something like that. Okay,
You
like
don't have enough
password.
time, it's gonna finish, and I want us to save the time for the next class.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you want, you can practice that one in that case. But or else,
Yeah.
in just the SQL, how you write, I'll just tell you. Okay.
Mhm.
So here, where so you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Cover today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117 Okay, so we have covered on the last class authentication thing.
Yeah.
On the authentication, we have covered sign in, okay, cookies. Okay, and then we need to cover today how to, how we can make secure way of the controllers and then actions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so controller and then actions. Okay, so when we talk about these controller and actions on this one, right? So whenever we are declaring a controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the controller, and then under that we will have multiple, actions. Okay, action 1, action 2, action 3, action 4, like that. Okay. So when we are talking about, giving access to the users on the action wise, either it can be done on the action wise or it can be done on the controller wise. Okay. Okay. So when we are talking about controller wise, if you say one attribute called authorize. Okay. If you say that authorize on the controller wise, and then what are all actions are there under that, user will get access after login only.
Okay.
So in order to access these actions, user has to log in and then he can access these, action methods, else he can't access. So we can also do all on the controller wise so that it will be applicable for all actions, or you can do only particular to one action also. But so that remaining thing can be still accessed, but wherever you applied authorize onto this action method, only that one needs user to be login. Okay, you getting right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's see how we can do that. So last time we were working on this login screen and all. We were able to log in the application where it is redirecting to welcome action. So welcome V was loading for us.
Correct. I was able to do that on my own. So I went and I
That's good.
cloned,
Mm-hmm.
I cloned or I copied one of the folders that doesn't have
Mm.
this part, and I used it to follow the lecture and created the same thing. And I did it all the way, and I was able to also get the same result. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You are come across very well now on the MVC side as well as authentication wise. And then
Correct.
you are able to connect it to database also, is it?
Yes, I connected to my own database, which
Mm.
was good.
That's
So
really good thing actually.
I connected to my own database. Yeah, I was able to, I did it all the way, got the screen. My validations were working,
Yeah.
um, and all. So, which is good.
Yeah. Password
So
3.
it was on the class for the lecture that we did about database. That's the one that my connectivity did not work per
Okay.
se. So that's where the one. Okay, yeah, this looks good.
Yeah, this looks good. So once you log into the, controller, through controller and then through action method, then where and all, actions are there, then you can put some authorize attribute. So that means how that will work, I will show you.
So before you go,
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
Remember on this, when we created the view on
Yes.
this, created it manually. We created a view page, which we call welcome. Could
Yes,
we
correct.
not generate that view can we not generate the view by itself, like how we generated the other view? Could we have done that?
Yeah, yeah. See, welcome thing is totally different thing, but yeah, whenever you are accessing model wise data, you can always do that.
Okay, okay,
Okay, but
okay.
here we have already created, index and all. where the user's information along with update and delete we have created, but here the functionality was different. So I just try to show you whoever has logged on here. Okay.
Right.
But usually, once you log into the system usually in big projects and all, it will be like a big screen, what and all user can access after login. Okay. So I did not create such a big thing now. I just created just the welcoming user. That's all. Okay. Now what we can do is say employee controller, right? So employee controller has the existing things, there are create, all those actions. Okay. So say for example, user can view the data, but he is not supposed to create a new employee or updating or deleting any new employee. So what we
Correct.
do, guys, in that case, so we can put there is authorize. Okay, so authorize. See, you'll have to use that one so that you can access that attribute. Okay, so for the create, I put that same. Let me put it onto update. Okay, not this one. Okay, this one. Okay, and then where is my delete? Yeah, here. Okay, so now without login to the system, first let us try to access these methods under employee. Okay, now let's access the employee object.
Okay. Did you save it?
Yeah, I saved it.
Okay.
Or else you see this star here.
Okay.
Yeah, it has come already here.
Employee.
I'm just checking here. Now create a new, okay. And then, the data, whatever you want to add it. Looks like there is no employee existed. So I'll just create one. 23, Australia. Development. Okay, 20,000.
Okay.
Okay, why it has been created is last time session it is there. Sometimes these cookie sessions will always be there. So you can always try this option also all time. Clear the data. Cookies also you are deleting. Clear the data.
So why are you deleting the sessions?
See, last time I logged on. So my intention is that when we are trying to create, it should throw for the login screen, right?
Okay.
But it did not go for that. It actually created an employee for us.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes you need to create just for, just a testing perspective. Employee create. I put a breakpoint this time. Let's see. Something, anything. 2000. Yeah, development. is great. See, it has been redirected to login screen if you look at here.
Yeah.
So I was creating, I'm trying to create an employee. Okay, you see here employee dot create. First, so what it is doing is internally it checks, whether user logged on when you put that authorize attribute. So if the user is not logged on, okay, then it is going for the login action.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the way it is showing. First you log in here, then it will be returning to employee slash create.
Okay, so login, let's see.
Yeah, so now what is our username and then password 123. Okay, you see here now it is coming for the login. Okay, identity and all it is checking. You see here welcome has come. Now if you try to create a new employee, sorry, that is 123. You see all those, validations we put it into, right? Those are all still works. Now you see here, create has fired. Earlier it did not fire, you remember. Because of this authorize, it checks automatically in the background whether user logged on. Okay. Now it is creating an employee for you. You see here.
Oh, perfect.
Employee slash create.
Okay, good.
Okay. So that is the how it will be. Okay. So now we have put only for the create and all. Okay. Now earlier we were able to at least view the data also, right? When you click on the employee, we were able to view the data, right? So if you put authorize at the controller level, then everything will be blocked for you. You can't access
Oh.
index also. You can't access,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is the thing anyway. For index, you have one one user, one employee under that one. So for the testing thing, now if we log out and then log in again, this employee data will be lost.
Okay.
Because it is inline memory. Okay, yeah. So basically that is the how it will work it. If you put on the controller wise, then everything will be inaccessible for you. Okay, that's what the thing is that. Okay, so you need to remember about this authorize attribute. So in the interview also, they may ask about this. Okay. And then, login, how you do all that. Probably now we will show for the logout functionality. Now we are on the welcome screen. Okay. So in the welcome, we can able to actually add one, hyperlink or anything saying that, when you click on that one, user will be logged out. Right.
Okay.
So let's add one functionality for our logout thing.
So question, another
Yeah.
thing I noticed is ASP. I think, not I think, I don't know the syntax for all the ASP things, like how ASP has that add model, and those. Could you teach me that down the road? Like what you just deleted there. That's an ASP. You see that at html.action link. That's not a HTML syntax. That's a ASP syntax, right?
No, this is called HTML helper. If you remember, we have covered this. So what it does is you don't need to write all the HTML tag. See, when you are trying to generate any link for that, you'll have to use anchor tag, right? You know that, right? So this anchor tag comes under your HTML5 part of it. So here basically you will specify href equal to where you want to go. So you can specify your controller /action.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm just typing, basically here it will go. If you are talking about, employee, then employee will go. And then under the action, like index or whatever action methods you have under that controller, right?
Okay.
This is delete, update. So you can use any of the thing. Okay. So the similar way, if you don't want to write all of these, anchor tag, href, all that, so there is
Mm-hmm.
an built-in functionality called HTML helper. So using
Okay.
this HTML helper, you just needs to specify what is the text you want to be displayed and then what action to be executed. If you specify that one, then it automatically executes.
Oh,
And
I
then it
did
will
not know
create
that.
a, yeah, and then it will create a hyper, anchor tag. Let me show you how that will work then. Okay.
Okay.
Now at HTML, under that we have action link. You see the parameters, link text, and then anchor name, action
Mm-hmm.
name. So
Mm-hmm.
what to be displayed? So now we are planning for logout, right? So let's put logout there. And then what you want to be called? You want to be called your logout. Okay. Is the
Mm-hmm.
logout already existed? No, you'll have to put it. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
this welcome comes under this welcome, you had put it into under user. So it will obviously go for user controller and look for the logout action method. Okay. Now let's add it. User controller. Okay. So this is already a login thing. Here I'm going to add one more called logout. Okay. So the similar way, public. The asynchronous call task action result. So here I'm going to use logout. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's OE is small. Okay. Okay. Under this, basically, whatever cookies, everything has been created and all, everything needs to be dropped out. Right? So await. So under HTTP context, we have created sign in earlier, if you remember. You see here, sign in and
Sign
all.
out, sign in.
Yeah, now we'll have to call only sign out. Yeah, sign out asynchronous. Okay. After that, where you want to go, right? We'll have to always mention redirect to action. Okay. So let's go redirect to index, which is the default. Okay. Or if you want to go to some other controller also, you can obviously specify what is the controller name and all. You can specify that. Okay. So now within the same user controller, I want to go index. So I just put only the action name. Okay. So this is the how you can make it. Now let's put a breakpoint here. Okay. And now let's see under the welcome, we have a logout. And then I'm not
Why is
passing
that
any of the
item
parameter.
that name is not compiling? Why? Why?
Why? Because you are not specifying item. So what is item here? Item is a model. Okay. I just copied this one from the here, right? So here, so if you want to pass any of the parameters, if you remember, I have told you about this one. So when you mouse move on the edit button at the bottom of the screen, you are seeing employee name. Did you remember anything? No?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so now I'm not passing any of the parameters because it is a simple logout thing. So I'm not passing any parameter. Okay, so I will remove that part of it. So I'm not sending anything. I just wants to create logout link.
Yeah,
Okay,
remove that one.
now
Okay.
you write this one, right? Now let's see how this will create for you. Okay, now employee index. Now let's go to user. Okay, and then here, this is all the user details, edit, Alfred on that. Yeah, so let's go, password 1, 2, 3. So now login thing, I'm just removing everything for the login thing. Okay, so you see here logout, the link has come, and then at the below you see user/logout. And if you look at the view source of this one, view source of that one, it will show all the link for you. You see here logout, this has been generated anchor tag for you, and then href equal to user/logout.
Okay.
Okay. So if you don't know HTML tags of it, then using HTML helper, you can create, HTML tags.
Okay. How
Okay.
do I
So
learn?
that's how it
I
is.
I need to learn some more of that HTML help. I never used it.
Yeah, you can practice on that one. Okay. Even we have covered these earlier. See, we have covered all of these earlier. Not sure whether you have concentrated on that one, but yeah, so you can always practice on this one.
Okay.
Okay, so here basically using action link, you are specifying what is the the link you are seeing in the UI. Okay, and then when you click on that one, what is the action to be executed under the controller? Okay, and then if you want to send any parameters, then you can send like this.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to see this one how it was working for you, then you can go to employee controller, and then you see here update and delete. You are sending employee name. Okay, so these are all coming from the parameters.
Right.
Right. So the similar way here also it has been generated for you an anchor tag called logout. Okay, now let's click on the logout. Okay, our sign up thing works for you, and then you need to log in again because you did sign out.
Very good.
Yeah, so that's what it does. Now you did log out, right? You can always check employee and all, whether you can able to create 3, 3, 4. Now let's see any cookies and all is there or everything has been cleared. See everything. So because you did sign out now, you are unable to create an user because you have authorized attribute on the create. You have authorized on the create or update, right? So because user has been just now logged out, right? So you can't access these methods. Because you put authorize attribute, first you need to log in.
Right.
Right?
But that information we saw, is that not what was in the database?
Sorry?
Go back to that screen.
Yep.
Go to the UI. What about this one we are seeing up there? Yeah.
It's there in database or not, you want to see?
No, I'm saying this one here, all of this ID, Alfred.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to see that, right?
Password, you mean?
No, the whole of that information. Since if we don't log in, we're not supposed to see this information until we
No,
log.
that is the way I'm trying to tell you. So let me show you again. See, I'm into employee controller. Okay. Inside this employee controller, I did not put authorize for the index.
Oh.
Okay. So I'll go to index. What I'm seeing here, all of this, create user, all that, right? So that is the what, all that, the user's data, which is already available, all that is here under index.
Okay.
So that is the way under index, what are all user information it is showing here because there is no authorize on that view or action. So you can still able to see information, but you cannot create an user.
Okay.
While creating an user, you had put a breakpoint. Okay, did we stop it? So on creation of user, you have a authorized thing, so it is not going.
Correct.
Correct? So that is what it is doing. So if you want to put entire thing to be blocked, you can put at the controller level. Then you can't access anything without login.
So
Okay,
what
if
you put
you
that
want to give it
authorized?
try, yeah, sure.
Would you put the authorized? I'm saying if you want to do that, that means you put the authorized on that method right there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I'm just putting at the controller level now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just removing at the accents wise.
Mm-hmm.